Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kyle here with another Exos Heroes video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a review on FC Lepin. So, new character, Fatecore increase rates banner is out. I happen to pull her, so we'll be able to take her through all different parts of content, just see exactly how good she is. I think a lot of times someone looks good on paper, it doesn't really work out that way in practice, but we're gonna see what's up. So before we begin, if you like content like this, please consider subscribing. It really helps with the channel. And with that, let's get into it. So first thing I want to address is, do I think she's worth pulling? And I think there's two parts to the question because it'll potentially a little biased because of what they're doing. So what ended up, if you're not aware, what happened was there's an issue with them increasing the rates on the actual for the banner. So then they needed to do compensation for it. So they ended up compensating the people that were affected by that period. But then people realized that it was not fair to everyone else. So what they're doing is they're going to be refunding up to 19 pulls or 13.3k ZES worth of pulls on this banner, which if you do the math will be 19 pulls, and that would pity her if you happen to have to go all the way. So with that being said, I think this is an absolutely great time to pull. If you have the ZES for it, you're going to get it back on August 20th, around there. Potentially could be an issue if you really want to get FC Yao, now that FC Yao is confirmed, because the timing, if you look at the dates, doesn't really add up. It looks like FC Yao is going to come out. That ZES you're going to be getting reimbursed is probably not going to show up on your account until after that Fatecore increased rates banner has been passed. So with that, I think that even if the character wasn't great, it's still, a really strong chance that I'm going to say worth pulling. But the character itself, I think this character is good. On paper, we're going to be running her through a whole bunch of content to see exactly how good she is. But just from what I'm seeing, she's very unique, and not many characters can do what she's capable of. I think even if we don't find things that she really excels at, which I doubt, in the future, she's definitely going to be useful. I'm thinking of her more as a PvE character, more so than a PvP, but in tag team. And potentially, I'm going to try her in the meta comp. I'm going to replace like Shufrak and Garf and like that slot for her and just see how good she is in that matchup. I'm seeing, potentially with her, being able to repeat turns and stuff. She might be good. I don't know. We'll find out. I still would say pull for her, even if it wasn't for this whole massive compensation that's coming soon. Definitely significantly more excited to say pull for her because of that compensation. Now let's go over her kit. And this is going to be the new and improved version of the kit. So what they ended up doing is they added a few things. First, and it's going to be in her A1 and her A2. The passive is the same as her normal Fatecore version of her, where it has the Harbinger of Awakening here. Cool thing about this is that this passive, what happens is if someone on your team dies, the person that killed them gets a mark. So if you hit the person with the mark, you're going to get that passive buff onto your character. And then based on all these characters, different things happen. Like for example, Rachel gets like a lot stronger. Like his version of it is he's going to get a whole bunch of crit, like I believe, critical hit by 360 and then decreases block. So he's just going to do a ton of damage and he gains 25 speed. In her case scenario, she gets something that's has very good synergy with the type of character she is. So she's a healer, but not only is she a healer, she's a healer that is wanting to res a character. So it makes perfect sense for her to be this your revenge style character. And then not only that, she's getting block and then speed. So she's going to give herself block and then 25 speed. And then if she gets low, then what will happen is then she gives herself damage immunity for 4 turns. Exactly what you would want out of a character that if someone on your team died, you want to be able to get around to your turn to pick them back up, which is fantastic. I think if she just alone before the changes, that added a lot of synergy to her kit. It didn't like a lot. So for example, a lot of like hard strike characters don't really work well with the hard strike mechanic. Some of them work really well with it. Like for example, people with counter work really well with the hard strike mechanic, but some of them don't. In her case, I think she works really well with this revenge mechanic. Then what they added was to her normal move where she does single target damage and then grants a heal over time to one ally by 12% of her own maximum health for 4 turns. And then here's the change, which is resets the turn of an ally once every 6 turns, which is very cool. So what's going to happen is it's going to heal the person that's the lowest, and the person that's the lowest also gets their turn reset. And it could include herself. Like I've seen it, like when I've been trying her, like she can heal herself and then just go again and then heal someone else. But since it takes 6 turns for the reset to happen, it won't do it again. And then next is going to be an AoE heal. And then it's going to revive all dead allies and then grants damage immunity one time. One big issue, or this solves one big issue of a lot of these rezzers where they res a person, they're still pretty low, and then they just die to like an AoE right after. Whereas she's actually giving the damage immunity. Solves a lot of issues, makes this significantly more powerful than it normally is. I'm really excited to give her a shot. Let's get into some gameplay. I didn't know where to add this because, but I did want to say this kind of like a fun little tip I noticed when I was trying to do the Shelter of Avarice. Like I was intentionally not wanting to have dragon blood characters into the Shelter of Avarice because I wanted to see just how hard it was. What I noticed is, so she has the passive of she gets 200% damage in Shelter of Avarice, and her passive when someone's low, it is she'll heal someone for 100% of their attack. Whereas when you're in Shelter of Avarice, kind of a fun thing is that it doubles the heal of the passive. So if someone gets low, her passive heal is going to heal a massive chunk versus the normal, kind of like a smaller heal than you would normally expect. Kind of a fun little thing. If you're struggling with Shelter of Avarice, a lot of these characters that have the 200% damage in Shelter of Avarice already all are required. But keep that in mind that not only is it doing extra damage, but it's also potentially more sustain as well. First of all, I should back up and say it seems to be the typical meta team. The main team nowadays is Shufraken, Iris, Annie, Bathory, and then Rara. Me personally, I'm using Garf. Another one I've seen too is potentially a Janai. Like the top guy has a Fatecore chart Janai, which I think is really cool. Finally, Shufraken and Janai getting into the top of the meta. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and replace that person with, here, let me go to, I believe she is in this team here. So we're going to replace Garf with her and see how it changes the matchup. And then I made sure I put good gear on her. She's in full machine set. I wanted to be able to, target specifically. I didn't want to get blocked by anything. Also, that was just the set I had, and then I didn't want to spend any zest to like switch her to a specific set. Probably the best set for her, if I had to guess, would be either a red set or a blue set. I've been seeing a lot of people in the front line, irises and stuff like that, using full red. I would say she's probably in there with the synergy of her own passive. I was thinking blue as well, just as much survivability as possible. So those are my suggestions for a set. Yellow would be another option too. I just think people do way too much damage to where if you do the math, yellow has a shield of like 1920, but people are almost one-shotting, especially if you crit. So that 30% damage reduction is going to actually be more damage reduction than the shield. But then you can also argue that the shield actually regenerates. So, there's a lot of potential debate there. Okay, so let's do that. And then I took all my gear off Anastasia. So let's see if we have someone we can put in her place. A lot of my gear is, there's going to be another video where I'm trying to max out the dispatches and it takes a surprising amount of gear. So here, let's troll everyone and go with this guy. Oh, the perfect synergy. We got disheartened synergy. Check this out. We got the disheartened synergy with this guy. He's going to guaranteed crit. Yeah, 200% damage, guaranteed crit. All right. So this is the full disheartened team. We got Xeon, Baraka, Rachel, and then, and so it's pretty much over. And then we'll throw Garf in here. Probably should have just replaced with Garf, but yeah, I think this is massively better, objectively better. And then now we need to replace one last character for our tag 2. I wanted to go up against like a main team. So here it is. Let's swap these out. Now we have Lepin, like this team versus their main team as well with the Shufraken. So I'm thinking maybe someone gets one shot, she heals them, maybe keeps them alive from the Shufraken passive. This team here, does this team beat this team? Probably. Okay, so here's what we're actually here for. Let's see how well she can handle a full meta team. This is the example because the AI is always going to do that. Blocked it. Perfect. That's just pretty RNG based. The AI, unfortunately, or fortunately for most people on offense, never does the correct move of just like AoEing. Usually AoEing is just always better unless you're like trying to target specifically. So here's an example. So here we got that. We got the heal. Now we'll go for the cleanse. I believe this cleanses it. Yep. And then now we're going to clear off this. I'm kind of, it's hard to keep up with the game. Like I'm saying one thing and then don't even finish my point. So sorry about that. But here we go. This is a big moment here. I'll be able to wipe off at least a lot of tranquils, maybe kill some people. And then let's go. Let's finish Annie here. Or just miss. I believe she missed. So did she live? So she died, but we might have a chance here. Let's check this. Okay, we don't have the decrease. It probably went to Bathory. Might have a shot here. Oh, damage immunity is coming in clutch. Okay, so unfortunately, we're losing too much damage. Normally, Garf is able to help with the back row and then does a ton of damage to the back row, potentially procs tranquils. Annie cleans up, Rara cleans up. That's one thing I've noticed from the first match of this. Okay, do we have a good matchup? We do. Okay, so this is exactly what I want to see. I like the real meta matchup where we're going against. Let's see the difference between Lepin and Shufraken in this matchup. So far, I think FC Shufraken, normal Fatecore Shufraken, is significantly better. I want to play a couple matches to see if we can really pinpoint if there's any merit to running Lepin in the meta matchup so far. And I think no. We're going to hit this because I like to evaluate it not from like, oh, if you don't have these characters. It's like, no, I want to see objectively. So she just got smoked. She's significantly less tanky than a Garf. Garf would never, shouldn't happen to him in that scenario to just get one shot like that. So another knock against her. And her kid is very PvE centric anyway. So it's not like I was expecting this PvP god here, but it is a little disappointing that it's just significantly worse. Let's see. I always like to check just in case, even though the Rara A1 was obviously towards the dead Lepin there. Just good habit to have in case I'm like not paying attention. I like to check to see if I'm actually going to hit my moves. Let's say Rara hit her A1 on Annie. I wasn't noticing. I like to just know. And then here, let's actually hit her. Right, this should proc the tranquil if we don't. Okay, and there's the dodge. And here we go. Maybe since we're going first, we might win. So now she should miss. And then we should hit. And then we might do enough damage. There we go. Could be risky because she got broken right when Iris is dead, and then she might actually like proc, if we didn't kill her there. But I'm pretty sure we were fine. For PvP, I think she's going to be solid in tag team. I don't think she's going to be on the main meta team at the moment. Maybe the meta will change in the future. Who knows? She's going to be fantastic for PvE. She's going to be really good in Dragon. I want to try her in Dragon. And then also for Raid, that's tomorrow. We can try her out there. There's going to be a whole bunch of potential PvE content that she's really going to excel in. I don't want to be too down on Lepin. She's definitely not she's not going to be a PvP god. She's not going to be like the super top meta. That was 2 matches versus the top of the meta. She didn't really make that much of a factor. The reason why I think this meta is so fast people die so quick. The characters that are really good are people with passives that just don't go. For example, Bathory doesn't really go. She has Tranquil. Annie doesn't really go too much. She gives Rara the mana and the damage immunity. Shufraken has the passive where they don't even need to have a turn for them to be impactful is what I'm trying to say. Whereas Lepin really needs to have a turn, doesn't have this crazy passive, just does a little tiny heal that, as we saw, she tried to heal herself and then Shufraken just killed her anyway with his passive. So I think there's significantly better characters, especially in the top of the food chain when it comes to PvP. But I do want to say that she's going to be fantastic as a tag team character. I think that you can do a lot of really annoying teams with like a Digos plus her. You can do a Loom plus her. There's a lot of potential for fun tag teams to really make it hard for your opponents in PvP. Where she's really going to excel is going to be PvE. So next, I want to try the dragon. We're going to throw in Gar for sure, him for sure. Actually, let's put his Fatecore on. Actually, let's not. Throw him in just for kicks. Okay, I think this is fine. So the goal of this is we're going to be really trying to pay attention to FC Lepin, see what she can do. Also, the goal is to go to 314. That is the end of phase 3. Then it's just pure damage, as much damage as possible until everyone dies. I'm going to see what you can actually bring to the table here. And we're going with normal Rudely. I really like normal Rudely, even in Dragon. He just does so much damage. We have Magi in here because she not only has Dragon Blood, she has Head Dragonite and Dragon Scale. Or yeah. And then we got Rudely Garf. They're obvious. Iris, I want to see the mana gain, see if it's actually worth it. But I do really like that she has a all status clear, not just what healers normally have, because potentially for phase 4, she'll be able to cleanse that stun. Issue is she would need to be in machine gear for that to really, work out. But I think she has potential in Dragon. Annie's just a good character. Bathory's just a good character, and also the survivability with FC. Okay, let's see. We have Iris potentially dying here. Who is she? Okay, and then gives it to Iris. Makes sense. She's at lowest. We got the share health coming through. Next time Lepin goes, we'll be getting the res. Kind of cool to be able to just give the mana like that, and then she gets to go again. It's really accelerating the mana gain. It's going to be nice for people that have burst moves that do a ton of damage with more mana. There's a lot of potential combos here. It also could be bad. There's characters you don't want to go that often that will go more. Also, she's having a hard time keeping herself up compared to everyone else. Okay, so this is going to go to phase 3. I really want her to live. She has a ton of mana. She hasn't done her heal yet. Maybe Iris dies here, and then she'll be able to pick her up. Because Iris is the one that didn't have Tranquil, but a lot of people don't have Tranquil. Okay, so Digos is dead. The thing that sucks about having all these characters and she's really slow is that we just reset the turn order, so she's not going to get a go. That's one of the drawbacks of healers, and that's why you really want to manage your turn order. I didn't really do a good job of that because she would have to go all the way back down through the chain because she was about to go and then didn't get a chance to go because it switched to phase 3. I think there's potential here for sure. It's just I'm not seeing it just yet. Like, this is just the standard way of beating Dragon. I mean, like an Anastasia, would have went and healed. What she did, the difference, I guess, between her competitor, I guess, was she let Iris go twice. And I think that's very unique. And I think if you could time that with someone It's like a really high damage dealer, like a Rudely, for example, like Rudely on Nature Day, having him go twice. Like, so you got Rudely, Lepin, then Rudely. I think that could be crazy. Or you can go like Bathory, Lepin, Bathory. That you can't really beat that damage. Or on Machine Day potentially, you go like Baraka, her Baraka. You're just getting the people, the best potential people to go over and over. Okay, and then now we're finished the dragon. Let's see if let's tack on some damage. These people won't do any damage. The only people that can do damage is Bathory here. We'll probably just get a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And then they're not the right people. See, this is that stun I was talking about. See, notice how, and boom, stun happening. But Rudely doesn't have to worry about it because he's full machine set. And that's why I really like machine for the end of dragon here if you really want to increase your damage. I know not a lot of this is FC Lepin based, but I think seeing how you need to have an idea of the full team to get an idea of what Lepin actually brings. So there you have it there. And then let me move this really quick just to, you can see. Boom. So there's the rewards from it, what you can expect to get when you actually beat the dragon. And then those numbers go up the better score you get after the 314. But it's very phase dependent. Like, for example, if you go all the way from 80,200 all the way up to like 13th or 313, you're going to get far less rewards than hitting that 314. There you have it, guys. That's FC Lepin. I think she has a lot of potential in the PvE aspect. It's going to take, she's so unique that I think she needs a full team specifically built around her. I think she's for PvP. I think she has really good potential in tag teams. Team off the top of my head that I think would be very good would be like Digos, her, and then a lot of like the disheartened characters like Rachel, Baraka, Xeon, like something like that, like a really solid second team where she could potentially be a nuisance. And then there's also some synergies between like Digos and Dragonblood characters too. So very potentially solid team there. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about FC Lepin. I know this video was super long. If you like a thorough, this is a thorough breakdown of FC Lepin. You know, if you want more stuff like this when it comes to these characters, let me know. I'm more than happy to do them. I have a ton of characters on my account that I can try out. I haven't really done too many of them, but yeah, with that, you guys have a good one. Peace. I should do this because we can actually cheese it to where they're going to hit our Dragonblood characters. Then we're also going to proc flop flops on people. See how it procs the flop flops? Because they're not hitting him, they're hitting other people. He's sharing the health. And then it's not only Dragonblood procking, but it's flop flop procking. It's a really cool mechanic.